Hey, Mama, sit down for a second. I mean it. Grab your coffee or your Diet Coke, close that never ending to do list, and take a breath. Welcome to Mama Sit Down, the podcast that helps you reclaim your life one boundary at a time. I'm your host, Roxanne Hughes, and around here, we talk about what it really means to stop overgiving, start healing, and finally make space for you. Because let's be honest, you've spent years taking care of everyone else. Now it's your turn. So whether you're learning to say no without guilt or figuring out who you are beyond mom, you're in the right place. All right, Mama, enough small talk. Let's dive in. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Mama Sit Down, where we talk about faith, family, and finding peace after years of trying to keep everyone else happy. Now, listen. If you've ever thought, why am I so tired? Why do I feel like I'm the only one holding it all together? This one's for you. We're talking about boundaries, not the block everybody and move to a cabin kind, even though that sounds kind of tempting some days, but the kind that keep your peace intact. So grab your coffee, or in my case, my Dr. Pepper, and let's talk about 5 boundaries that'll change your life and keep your peace. So, what boundaries really are and aren't? A lot of people hear the word boundary and think it means cutting everyone off. But that's not what this is. Boundaries aren't a way of pushing people away, they're about protecting your peace. It's kind of like a fence with a gate. You get to decide what comes through the gate and what needs to stay outside. And the truth is, most of us mamas grew up thinking saying no makes us selfish. But saying yes when you don't mean it, that's what leads to resentment. Boundaries aren't mean, they're maintenance. Boundary number 1, stop taking responsibility for grown people's feelings. This is a hard one. At least it was for me, because our mama hearts just want everyone to be okay. But here's the deal. You're not responsible for how grown people feel about your boundaries. If your adult child gets mad because you said, no, I can't help that, or I can't help with that, that's okay. They can be upset and you can still stand firm. You can love them deeply and still say, that's not mine to carry anymore. Letting people have their feelings doesn't make you cold. It makes you healthy. And sometimes you just got to take a deep breath and remind yourself, I'm not the villain. I'm just growing and realizing everything is not my responsibility. Boundary number 2, stop explaining yourself to people who don't want to understand. Have you ever tried to explain something to someone and halfway through you realize they're not listening? They're loading their next argument. Yeah, we've all been there. Here's what I've learned. When someone is committed to misunderstanding you, no amount of explaining will change that. So stop wasting your peace. Stop trying to convince people who want to be offended. You don't owe everyone an explanation. You can just say, that doesn't work for me, and move on. The people meant to walk with you will understand. The rest, bless them and let them go. Or as I like to say sometimes, well, go on then. Boundary number 3, stop rescuing people from consequences. Okay, this one hits close to home for me. We mamas are professional fixers. If there's a problem, we'll figure it out, even if it's not ours. But here's the thing, we're sometimes rescuing people from lessons God's trying to teach them. And when we do that, we interrupt their growth. We wear ourselves out. If you keep bailing them out, you'll stay broke, tired, and frustrated, and they'll stay stuck. In my circumstances, I would often hear, I didn't ask you to do that. And you know what? They were right. They didn't. I had to get really honest with myself and admit that so much of my need to fix things for them was my need to control, not out of wanting to be in control, but out of fear that if I didn't handle it, something would go wrong. So I had to let go of that fear. And so the next time for you, the next time your child or someone you love creates a mess, take a deep breath and say this: Lord, I trust you with this. You don't have to fix it to love them. Sometimes love looks like sitting down and letting them figure it out. They will be okay. Boundary number 4: stop letting drama rent space in your mind. Some people, bless their hearts, they always have a crisis. And if you're not careful, their storm moves right into your peace. You can pray for people, you can support them, but you don't have to live their drama with them. And when your thoughts start spinning, something you can't control, that's where this verse helps me every single time. We take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. In other words, when that thought starts spiraling, stop it right there. Hand it over to Jesus and say, "This one's yours." You don't have to replay every argument or worry about every responsibility. You can choose peace right in your own mind. Boundary number 5: stop apologizing for needing rest. This one, it took me years to learn. I used to think rest was something you earned after everything was done. But you know what? Everything is never done. You don't have to explain why you're taking a break. You don't have to feel guilty for a nap, a walk, or a quiet moment with God. Burnout doesn't make you holy, it makes you grumpy. You deserve rest just because you're human, not because you finished your list. So sit down, breathe, and remind yourself peace isn't selfish, it's sacred. So here's what I want you to remember: boundaries aren't about controlling other people, they're about taking care of yourself. When you stop rescuing, stop explaining, stop overthinking, and stop apologizing, you create space for peace to actually live in your life, to actually love the life you live, which is where I am and where I want you to be. It's not about perfection, it's about protection. You're not being mean, you're being smart. And you'll be amazed how much lighter you'll feel when you finally let go of what was never yours to carry. If this episode hit home for you, if you would please share it with another mama who needs a little reminder that peace is possible even in this season. And make sure you're subscribed to Mama Sit Down on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple so you don't miss what's next. Remember, you don't have to carry grown folks on your back to prove you're a good mom. You already did the hard part. Now, breathe and sit down, Mama.